Welcome to Palangi Studios. Come on in.
Hello.
Palangi Films as well.
Yes.
This is where all the music madness happens.
Look at all those guitars.
Yeah, I got more.
Wow. This is where you do your music producing and editing.
Yep.
And look at that. Wow.
Mixing and recording.
Very cool. So, Frank, who turned you on to horror films? What was your first movie that you saw?
My mother.
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I don't know the first one. My first movie was like the Disney one with Mickey, and it was kind of dark, scary. And then, but my first movie was Terminator 2 in the movie theater.
Oh, wow.
That was real, like 2. I remember it too, sitting behind the cinema, and I could sit behind the chair watching the whole thing. The screen looked huge.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since that movie, everything just changed. And then I was, it was like Friday the 13th and Halloween were my first horror movies I've ever seen, I think.
And your mom exposed you to that?
Yes.
That must have been so cool.
And Night of the Living Dead, too, and Thriller. I always forget
yeah.
Michael Jackson's Thriller. I had stayed up because in the 90s, they always re-aired it every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you start collecting masks?
I don't know when I got my first one. I think I was really young for Halloween. I would say like 4 years old or something. Maybe I started collecting them, 4 or 5. The hockey masks. And then my mom, because she was into crafts and all that kind of stuff, she goes, you know, we could take the hockey mask and add paint and cut pieces out of it and stuff and make it your own. And I go, that's really cool.
Yeah.
So let me do that.
And then you started using them in films and creating films from there?
Yeah, I got my cousins and my whoever in my movies with the old VHS camcorders and stuff. So those are the ones that you never see on the internet at all. But yeah, and then in high school I started making them. Then and really, I call myself one of the godfathers of fan films because there was only 15 of us, in 2005 doing fan films. I know there was people doing fan films before that too, but YouTube was in its infancy, and you know, I remember, I think I started uploading them right in senior year. So from senior year onward, that's what you see. The first one was Halloween 9, The Blood of Michael Myers.
That's awesome.
Yep. It's got like 500,000 views.
Oh, cool. So you had a passion.
Yeah.
So I've actually watched you, and I've noticed, like, as you progress that, I watched your early films, that your the acting of everyone in the film is getting better. So have you noticed yourself growing more as a director, and that's affecting how the films are coming out?
Yeah. Every project you grow, whether it's behind the scenes or you're acting or working on somebody else's project. I could see it just with these original movies the past couple of years as each movie is growing with, but I push myself each one. You know, I'm trying to push the quality. I'm trying to push the camera, the angles, the actors. I think too, like a lot of the actors I work with, I've known for a long time. So they just through the fan films acting and this, I think they get better at it too every time we do it.
That's true.
And then there's some newbies that are just kind of like, they want to be actors and they're really gifted to start with. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of rawness there. Where I've had to work at like everything to just to kind of, just to get up to a certain point.
I've actually acted in one of Frank's films, and he did a great job of pulling that out. He did have you do it over and over. And eventually something does come.
It does. I think that's because of the music, because when I did vocals and stuff, you'd think like, oh yeah, you know, you do 1 or 2 takes for a vocal track, you give it your all, and that's it. Man, when I went to Nashville, it was like, yeah, we're gonna do like 48 takes.
Wow.
So I think that's the notion of like, you know, you do it until it's 100% right.
Yeah.
Sort of thing, or the best you can, you know.
Yeah, until you get the real meat of it.
Yeah.
Cool.
It takes a while.
Well, speaking of Nashville, I know you're also a musician, and you have some new material coming out, like new music. That's what I've heard. Is that true?
Maybe next year.
Maybe next year. Okay.
I have one song done. It's kind of like I call it a mini EP, because it's really one song cut up into 3 tracks, and it's the same concept around a vampire.
Oh, cool.
And that I'm supposedly the vampire sucking the blood out of everybody, but I'm not. I am not. It's just what I've been branded. So it's kind of like the vampire that goes around, and I'm not the one killing everybody, but but the vampire himself is evil, is a bad guy, and he's saying, I'm not evil just because I'm a vampire.
I actually like that, how you're fearless with like some of the dark topics. Like, you're not afraid of, like, they call it the shadow self and healing, like accepting that part of yourself that's a little darker.
Yeah, because we all have dark sides we have to deal with, or just it's not even dark sides, it's certain things out of our psyche that pop up that we associate with it. Whether you went through, it could be a car accident and something, but then you transfer that into something else.
Yeah.
So. And for me, whatever I was thinking at the time, I was like, I guess I am the vampire, and I'll own up to it. But I'm not the vampire.
Yeah. I know you will as well.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. So you've upgraded your equipment too, I've heard.
Yeah,
recently.
both studio and camera stuff. Yeah, I was filming with Blackmagic 6K for a while. I loved it, but the cinema camera that was approved for Netflix was the 12K one, so I was like, kind of have to sell that, hunker down, and do this and really get that one. The only disadvantage is it weighs so much.
Yeah.
It's like holding a 20-pound weight around with you for like 8 hours, and so I don't have as skinny wrists anymore. I said really, really skinny wrists. Now they're a little bigger now, but I'm just like, man, it's so that's the only downside of it, but it looks great. Lenses, I'm starting to use different filters on the front and stuff, and it's just I am more visually creative. I'm aware of the story, but to me the visual, if it happens and it dictates what the story is, it will say that, and that's John Carpenter's Halloween. It's very visual. Yeah. The story is actually very minimal, but you have just enough to go off of.
But that's actually, I wanted to mention that because you've been working with another writer, right?
Yeah, Christopher Pelton.
Yeah, how did you guys meet?
I don't know. I think he just found me for his podcast. He's like, oh, you make movies? You want to be on my podcast? And he's like, I'm a writer.
Wow.
And he goes, I just wrote all this stuff. And he's like, will you, he goes, I'll give you the movie rights to my book if you want to make a movie. So At Death's Door is his original story concept.
Yeah.
Of that. So I had to take it and just expand it and change it and do the cinema thing.
But it gave you a baseline.
Yeah, and I was glad that he liked that, because some writers are like, you're changing things, you can't change anything. He's like, dude, they're short stories, kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, that sounds good. So from there, we just kept kind of working together and developing these things, and then we did an anthology, and that created the movie, basically, which is the premiere's coming up at the Strand. So,
October 16th, right? At
October
6:30?
16th. I don't know when you guys seeing this, but October 16th will be the premiere at the Strand. The movie's also coming to Tubi and Fossum and YouTube and some other platforms. I just don't know when. They don't give you release dates anymore. It's just licensed, and you just gotta wait.
Yeah.
So it could be like Tubi could literally be next Halloween, or Fossum could be like next week.
So if people want to see your movies, where do they just follow you on Instagram or Facebook?
I've been pushing YouTube a lot. I have a playlist that with all the stuff on YouTube, and the older films you can watch on Tubi, Fossum, Trauma TV has a couple of them. There's a couple odd apps too that have the movies too, but those are the main ones. But the new ones, I'm just waiting for them to go live, because. So I've been in Screen Magazine twice, had 2 full-page article things on it, and I'm like, American Psychopath technically out, but it's not. It hasn't really came out yet, and then the new one is not out at all. So I'm just waiting, and so. So
is that the production company, like, or the people that put out the movies, like the actual app?
A little bit, like, but
Tubi?
it's actually Tubi themselves.
They just don't want to put out They're
putting out less and less. Yes, they actually the guy told me that they actually are. They cut everything, and they're only taking 20% of what they used to.
Oh, wow.
So you can imagine where it's. So my guess, I really think like 2 years from now, it might show up. It might take a little while.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
Well, we'll come out.
We'll see. But yeah.
So thank you for talking about this. I did want to ask you if you had, because you're an independent filmmaker as well as an independent musician, if you had $20,000 to put into a film, what would you make?
A horror film.
Yeah, but what would you?
Yeah, what I really, I don't know, it would give the movie a bigger feel, more production quality. Definitely, it would enable me to get a quote unquote, I always do this, real actor.
Yeah.
You know, somebody that just has more credits and stuff. Geneva, who was in The Walking Dead and a lot of B, like we call it the B horror movies and stuff like that. We used to call it direct to video. Remember that in the Hollywood video days?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got her for a voiceover, and that's kind of like the first actress that's in some world out there actually doing it, coming in. So I got a couple other people in mind, but it would enable at least some cameos at least or something, because these people, you know, they have to be paid or certain budgets. You know, it's like sometimes you have to rent out a location and you're like, you know, I don't really have that money and stuff like that. So it enables you to do that kind of stuff, and all of a sudden, you know, you're not shooting in a garage made to look like an insane asylum, you know, basement. You're actually filming in a jail, you know, somewhere. So,
yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Well, but you make it work. I've watched you.
Yeah, I mean, you can. Well, it's like sets. I mean, if I had an area too where I could like construct my own sets for some things, that would be kind of cool, because you can stay.
Because you spend an entire day putting a set together when you know you're going to film.
But it's temperature controlled. You know, it's indoors. You know, there's you're dealing with everything when you make a movie. There's elements in the sun and even at night. It's like, you know. It's
lighting too.
Yeah, animals and stuff, you know, walking around, and there's a snake right there, or you know, whatever.
Yeah.
You know, skunks.
Yeah.
And stuff. They invade everything.
So, what's your next plan? What are you working on next?
I have 3 movies that are finished and just waiting for distribution.
You've been working your buns off.
That Farmhouse is the next one. Warren County.
Yeah.
Suburban Serial Killers, the series, is the cut up versions of the stories of Warren County. I don't know now what's going to happen to that. But so I do have 3 features in that, and we'll see what happens next year. But these movies have to come out first, I think, before I start anything else.
Okay.
So I'm not going to like go and film another 10 movies.
Yeah.
You know.
And then hopefully your music will also come out next year.
Yeah, I know. I do want to release like one other track at least besides that one. But since that one's Halloween themed, I figured either around my birthday for Valentine's Day, like that's a perfect horror Valentine's Day.
He's born on Valentine's Day.
Yeah, so I was thinking that, or I do have to wait till next Halloween. But if not, I might release a cover song in between, or maybe something original. I don't know though.
But your original music is so good.
The films have been keeping me busy.
Yeah.
Busy. So that's why, like, I still produce people. You know,
like
their music, but I actually don't have time for my own music as much anymore. So
yeah, I know. All right. Well, if you guys want to support him, you can friend him on Facebook. Check out his website.
PalangiFilms.com, FrankPalangi.com, and PalangiStudios.com.
But most of all, at the Strand Theater, if you're a local resident, the Strand Theater, and you're in the 518, is having his film premiered on the big, gigantic screen October 16th, 6:30 p.m. So, and what's that called?
At Death's Door.
So,
yep.
See you there.